Everyone, we have a very serious issue to discuss today. This is no laughing matter, so pay close attention. You see, Bikini Bottom has a serious gas problem, and we really need to discuss the environmental damage it's been doing to our oceans. This is evident from a game where SpongeBob farts. You might have seen it around. It's actually a very Hey, what are you doing? Stop laughing. I told you this was a very serious matter. So when SpongeBob farts, SpongeBob's a very gassy sponge who needs to let it all out into the ocean air. Unfortunately, the tyrannical Patrick takes issue with this, so we have to let it out when he can't hear it. Well, that sounds like a phenomenal premise. Let's check it out. On the title screen, we can see our favorite yellow sponge being launched into the air due to the bountiful productions of his rectum. Definitely a princess girl game, as we can see. SpongeBob SquarePants eat too much junk food. He ate a bad stomach? You gotta cook those thoroughly, SpongeBob. What would Hannibal Lecter think about this? He ate a bad stomach and a lot of very loud fart. I guess he ate a lot of farts, too. Probably just kinda inhaled the essence of them. Became one with the gas. He and Patrick are waiting for a bus. He can't hold to put. He will, in the auto-generated noise, sneak out and not let Patrick herd. This is, of course, a natural consequence for eating a bad stomach and a lot of very loud fart. So you're standing by the street and you have to fart when loud cars pass by. Though they both look pretty happy about it if Patrick does actually hear the fart. The stakes are really low in this. But if you hold it in too long, SpongeBob farts so hard he flies off into the sky. Again, Patrick looks pretty happy about this. Now here's a little thought exercise for you. Say you and your friend are out in town like this, and out of nowhere your friend just lets out the most colossal fart you've ever heard. It then launches them off into the stratosphere, no doubt causing them to die an unspeakably horrific death formerly unfathomable to mankind. How do you even react to that? Do you dramatically shout no as your friend farts off into oblivion? Do you break down crying because your lifelong companion has just suffered a brutal end right in front of you? Or do you stand there in absolute bewilderment trying to understand what you just witnessed? Or do you laugh because farts are funny? Honestly, I think the only thing you can do in that situation is just salute them. Happy trails, traveler. Anyway, this game is weird. Look at Mrs. Puff. She's farted so much she's deflated. I always used to say, if you look into Bikini Bottom, you'll be met with gas. Heartbreaking, really. So I hope you enjoyed this little PSA, and that now you'll care more about the methane in our ecosystem. So while I've got you here, why don't I subject you to even more games like this, such as Circus Under the Sea. This is yet another SpongeBob game that reuses his model from Dirty Bubble Busters. I don't know why so many of these like to use that one in particular. Wow, that was a little needlessly brutal, don't you think? So you just retain balance by moving to the left or the right. It's really easy because you can basically keep the mouse in one spot for most of the time. It gets boring after a while. But seriously, that game over is really messed up. Sorry about that. Here's SpongeBob Flying Sword. Yeah, he looks like he just watched the game over of the last game. You repeatedly press the space key to stay afloat while SpongeBob soars through this canyon with this look of bewilderment perpetually on his face. All I gotta ask is, why a sword? All the things in the world that can fly, and you choose a sword. Just try not to cut your feet on it. But what's the point of worrying about that? You're not gonna live very long in this anyway. There's also two-player mode. Look at this. Oh boy, now this is an amusing display. Actually, I kinda like this game. I think. Maybe. So let's check out a similar one. SpongeBob Jet Bubble is more or less the same thing. But look, Sandy's here now. Makes a world of difference, doesn't it? Also an original art style. That's good to see. So you choose your character and go along grabbing doubloons, avoiding sea creatures that try to stop you. You could just run along the bottom of the screen too. I mean, who's stopping me? Oh, that is. This game also has a two-player mode, just in case you find someone willing to sit at the computer with you to play this. Hey, there's a reason I have 4 different personas on this channel. Sorry, that was my demon one. And oh dear Ishtar, it's the Cyclops. We're facing some pretty serious threats here. If you die, you get gift shopped. Oh, the hooks are here too, so you might end up in a can of tuna instead. Happened to an old friend of mine once. So since we're on the topic of flying games, let's check out a popular one. SpongeBob Fly Away Home. I see we're using the Dirty Bubble Busters designs again. That game was a lot more revolutionary than I initially gave it credit for being. You really never know what the SpongeBob fandom's gonna do with the randomest pieces of content. So SpongeBob and Patrick are flying home, but get this, they have to grab Diet Coke along the way. Why, you ask? Because they're trying to cut down on calories. Let's get on with this. There are bombs parachuting from the sky and giant killer bats that want to take down our little biplane. We're also flying over the blurriest little town surrounded by a forest, and it seems to stretch on for eternity. Also, the moon is fully visible and visibly glowing despite it being daytime. Yes, I know you can see the moon during the day, but still a strange design choice. This is evidently a topsy-turvy world that our heroes must get out of by any means necessary. Listen to what happens when you die, too. I also make that sound when a plane I'm in is crashing down. It also feels weird that the background doesn't move. Sure, the buildings do, but the snow, the trees, and the moon are completely stagnant. There's something very odd going on with this world, so we're just gonna quietly step away from it. Let's keep up with the snow theme. It's totally the right time of year for that, isn't it? I mean, the weather is so unpredictable here in Chicago that we could have snow in September and no one would question it. So here's SpongeBob skiing. We're going down a hill at rapid speed and have to avoid obstacles. Just don't French fry when you pizza, or you're gonna have a bad time. Or maybe you don't have to, because the game is very straightforward. Not sure why you're grabbing sandwiches and burgers, though. Or why a very loud ding erupts whenever you do. That really doesn't sound like it belongs in this game. It sounds like I clicked a secret file on a computer during a really intense movie scene. I also suck at skiing, so let's move on. How about we try SpongeBob Extreme Dangerous? We better watch out for this one. It's extremely dangerous. We're in a cave with a gun. We have to jump on platforms to grab Krabby Patties and the key to the exit. And then, oh, fire. And demons that shoot you and send you back a few screens whenever you die. At least they aren't too hard to kill if you just keep shooting. Then we get a jetpack we can fly with. That's useful, I guess. These games really like to incorporate jetpacks for some reason. And oh look, we've reached a dead end. There is literally nothing I can do here. I just have to jump in the fire and be sent back to the very start of the stage. That's great, I love that. This cave really is extreme dangerous. I'm getting out of here. So how about we do something a little familiar now? Back in our bizarre SpongeBob games video, we checked out a game called SpongeBob Power Jump. You might recall I wasn't especially fond of it. SpongeBob wants to attack his enemy. Seems like a good motivation. Just get ready for one of the most aggravating platform jumpers you've ever had to endure. You jump and drag the mouse to move him from one to the other, but he is so flimsy and hard to control that it's nearly impossible. You can use the arrow keys, but he'll still try to follow your mouse no matter where you've left it on the screen, even if it's outside the window. He'll actively fight you when you try to move him. This game is very frustrating, and it isn't one I have the patience to get through. Let's get out of here. Well, did you know it had a sequel? It has the exact same instructions as the first one, too. It even has all the same issues as the first one. And what happened to his nose? Like before, you can either use the mouse or the arrow keys to jump, but he'll constantly try to follow your mouse. I got the hang of it eventually, but the jump system is also really annoying. You have to jump, then move as you're falling down. You can't move with your jump. It's only 3 stages and they aren't very long, so I can forgive it somewhat for its difficulty, but it still isn't a game I especially enjoy. The Ice Cube platforms are kinda cool though. Get it? Cool? Yeah, I need to stop. Here's SpongeBob Runner. This one has a nice feel to it. Let's see how it is. So, anyone want to tell me what I'm looking at here? Are we farting? We already played a game like that. We seem to be running along a giant orange slice while endless plankton clones are flying at us. How do you even come up with this?
Hey Lucy, is everything alright in there?
Yami Luci. I just finished watching 47 hours of Booba. I think I'm finally ready to plan a game. Let's hope SpongeBob Ryder will be a little more sensible. The instructions ought to tell us if it is or not. The dinosaurs became extinct, but only on the ground, and in the water are still a few giant aquatic lizards like the Loch Ness Monster. But SpongeBob found underwater Tyrannosaurus Rex, who decided to ride on it and make a jump. Nurse on the seabed at a prehistoric monster, jumping and skipping stones in the narrow arch. It's great fun. Well, that sounds perfectly sensible to me. Let's get into it. We're riding on a dino with a pretty stagnant SpongeBob PNG as we grab coins and avoid obstacles. We can jump, duck, or dash through them, but then this guy shows up. That's when we die. Yippee! This is because we currently suck. As you can see, we have a lot of upgrades we can buy to make our dinosaurs suck less. Honestly though, they barely help and only buy you a couple more seconds at most. It takes a lot of time to gather enough coins to purchase enough substantial upgrades, so it's very repetitive. It's silly, but I don't have the patience to get through it. So let's look at one more, and then we'll finish off with an especially weird one. I know this video's short, but as you can tell from my voice, I am very sick right now, so I apologize. So here's SpongeBob Defense. We're controlling the SpongeBob sprite from Dinner Defenders and shooting an army of plankton with his pea-shooting gun. I'm pretty sure this isn't how the barrel of a gun works, though. We have to protect this one building in particular, but it takes a lot of hits to take a plankton down. Then the jellyfish show up and explode on impact. Thankfully, you can upgrade your weapon for a few absolutely ludicrous prices. But it's more amusing to watch the planktons throw their heads into the building to bring it down. And this is all you get for a game over screen. Happy Halloween, I guess. So yeah, this one's weird. But far from the weirdest SpongeBob game out there. As a matter of fact, I know one that's even weirder. Are you ready for this? Because I sure ain't. Get yourselves prepared for SpongeBob Perfect Teeth. Yep, it's yet another dentist simulator. It would be less painful to visit a real dentist. So we start with a cutscene of SpongeBob going to get ice cream. Apparently it's an ice cream of death because it absolutely obliterates his teeth and prompts him to shout ow a million times, as well as my tooth is paining. He seems happy about it though. I fail to see the issue. So we get to be the dentist and we have to clean his horrifying monstrosity of a mouth. But you know what's great? We can literally just skip all these steps and take them out entirely. You literally don't have to do anything else. What's the point of including all this if you're just gonna make it a SpongeBob mouth dressing game? But I guess you can make his teeth look pretty amusing. Sorta. Look, I made them even worse. And then there's this one I can't even properly color in. The options for decorating the teeth are extremely limited, so don't expect to make any artistic masterpieces with this. The real highlight of this game is the ability to turn this light on or off. Now that's innovation. So anyway, the takeaway here is the fact that people will not hesitate to throw unnecessary weird stuff in their games about designing things. Are we even surprised? This is the internet after all. And things like this seem to be the norm with these games. So, before I break my brain any further, I'm gonna take the opportunity to close out for the day. Like I said, I've been sick for weeks, and this experience just might have prolonged it for another couple. So I hope you enjoyed our adventure through even more bizarre SpongeBob games, and that you'll tag along for whatever adventure we embark on next. Maybe the next few games we check out will make a little more sense. But for now, be sure to subscribe and like the video, join the Discord server, and follow me on the accounts in the description below. And as always, thank you for joining me. I will see you in the next memory.